Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It has been like a week since we uploaded, and as you can see, I'm doing great. Today is going to be the final tea sesh. It's going to be the final mouse scandal video. I'm just going to tell you what's been going on the past couple of days, where we are now. Some people will not like it, some people will like it, some people will support, some people will not support, but that is okay because we know what we're doing is right for our family and we are safe and we are good. So if you're ready for the tea, buckle up, get some popcorn. It's gonna be a ride. As you can see, we are in our house. There's a lot of things to say that have been going on because we haven't picked up the camera in like 5 days. I think we took like maybe about a week off of YouTube, which I'm really glad that we did because these past couple of days have been really exciting, really sad, but also like super exhausting, and we definitely needed that break. I'm like sitting on the ground now. This is our bed, and then you can see like it's a total mess behind us, but it's actually like an organized mess, so feeling good about that. So yesterday I went live on Instagram and I told the entire story of what has been happening the past couple of days, and more people joined. I usually have like 300-ish people that join my lives, and I ended up having like 800 people listening in on the story. I thought that I wasn't going to tell the whole story on here, but maybe I will because so many people were so invested into this story that when I like took my live down, I saved it for like an hour and then I took it down. People were messaging me like, oh my gosh, like what happened? What's the end of the story? Like, where can I finish the story? So I'm going to tell like a really short version on here, but I'll tell the story. I'm gonna have to go back and like look at my calendar, see what days are which. Okay, so Halloween was on Thursday, and that was the last time we filmed. In our previous videos, we told you guys that on Monday, we sent them a really long email. We asked them to reconsider like giving us a part of our rent back because they had previously said no, like we were doing everything that we can. It's livable, whatever, like you can live there, yada yada. We asked them to reconsider that. We asked them to get somebody out here who does rodent feces cleanup, because we didn't show you guys everything because that would be really nasty to show you guys what like all the areas that had so much poop in it, which we didn't actually know at the time. That'll come later on in the story, but we needed somebody out here to clean up that and clean it up in a certain way. And then we asked for the exterminator to come back out as soon as possible. We wanted all of this done as soon as possible because they weren't giving us our rent back, so we wanted to get all of this done as quick as possible so that we could get back in our house that we are continuing to pay for. The exterminator called and he said that the earliest he could get out was on Friday. She emails us back and she didn't address rent at all. Like, she didn't address if they were going to reconsider our rent or not again. And then she just said that she called an exterminator and she would get somebody out to clean as soon as possible that does rodent cleanup. So then on Tuesday, we didn't hear anything from her again about our rent or about somebody coming out here to clean. I gave everybody names in my live yesterday, so I'm just gonna give names even though I like gave the regular names. So I named our property manager Karen, which if you were on my live, you know her actual name because I accidentally spilled the tea and said her real name. But we're gonna call her Karen, and then the other lady that works there, we're calling her Molly. So Molly and Karen are the two ladies that work at our property manager's office, and then there's also like a whole entire manager of the whole entire company. Then Wednesday comes around and we also did not hear anything from anybody all day long. This was my mom's birthday, so we recorded on that day. In the video I mentioned that we had, I think, emailed again that day and we hadn't heard anything. I don't remember, it's been so much back and forth, but I'm so glad it's over. Thursday comes around, which is Halloween. I called their office in the morning because that day is the last day before November 1st and we hadn't heard anything as far as how much we were going to be paying on the 1st for our rent. I called and Molly answers the phone and she's like, Karen's not here. I can ask her to give you a call back in like 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, cool. So then she doesn't call me for like 3 hours. So then I call back, talk to Karen and say like, what's the deal with our rent? Like, what's up? And she's like, well, I have a draft waiting and my boss needs to approve it so I can get that to you by tonight. They always say that they can get us stuff by the same day or the next day and they never do. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, also, we haven't heard anything from any cleaning person. It's Thursday and I asked for this on Monday. She's like, oh, I gave your number to somebody and she says that she's been trying to get in contact with you and that you're not answering. It's like, what? So I was like, give me her number and I will call her. I was just so over it. I was like, just give me her number right now. Like, I'm not emailing with you about this. She gives me her number. I call, this lady doesn't answer, and we leave a message. And I'm pretty sure that was it for that day. We don't get an email that night at all. Like, she never emailed us the draft or whatever that her boss had to approve. So now it's November 1st, the day that we have to pay rent. And I get a call from the lady who's supposed to come out here and clean. And she says, like, hey, what's up? Like, she sounds really cool. I got a call from your management company and you need somebody to come out and clean. And so I was like, hey, do you know her situation? Like, what do you do? What do you know? And she's like, well, they just said that you need a deep clean and that you guys had a couple mice and you just need like a deep clean. And I was like, we had more than a couple mice. We had 10 to 12 mice in our house. We caught and trapped like 10 of them. There's poop everywhere, there's pee everywhere, and we need like cleanup for that specifically. Like, it's not just our house, like it's rodent cleanup. And she's like, what? Like, I have this whole conversation recorded on my phone. If we needed to take this to a different level, I wanted to have like everything that I said and did, like either in pictures or in recording. So I was recording her on the phone and she was like, I didn't know that. I'm petrified of mice. I don't know, like I am not educated on how to clean that up. I'm so sorry that I really feel like I'm not the person for you. So then I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me? I tell the lady, I was like, hey, let me call Karen, let me talk to her, and then I'll give you a call back and let you know if we still need you or not. She's like, okay. So I call our management company. Molly answers the phone and she's like, hey, Karen's not here. She can call you back in like 30 minutes. Do you want me to ask her to give you a call back? And I was like, no, that's fine. Like, I'll just call back because she never returns my calls. She's like, okay. At this point, I start doing my own research as far as rodent cleanup, and there's not a lot of people who do it. There's not a lot of people who will like willingly come out to your house and clean this up. So I found one company who did it. I got all of the information like of when they could come out. They said that they could come out that day, which was Friday, and at the time it was like 11 a.m. They said that they could come out that day to do an inspection and clean wherever they found any feces, and they had like different stuff to detect like activity of mice in rooms and stuff like that. I don't know. I gathered all of this information. We got ready. I actually called our company back and said, hey, do you guys have a manager I could talk to? Because I was so done. At this point, we still didn't know how much we were paying for rent, and it's the first. I called back and I'm like, okay, well, if your manager has to approve the email, let me just talk to the manager. Molly's like, hey. And I was like, hey, do you guys have a manager that's like in charge of you guys? And she's like, yeah, we do. I was like, what's his number? And she's like, we all share one number. And I'm like, you're telling me he doesn't have like a cell phone or something that I can call? And she's like, no. And I was like, okay, that sounds a little weird to me. Like, you don't want me to talk to him, but okay. So I hung up the phone and I decided that I was going to march my happy butt into their office. And at this point, I'm like fuming. Ben says that he could see steam coming off of me. And the reason why I was so mad is because we asked for all of this to happen on Monday. I wasn't expecting it to happen on Monday, but I was expecting it to happen like Tuesday or Wednesday. Get all this done, get us moved back in by like Friday. Everything's good. It's now Friday and we don't know how much we're paying for rent. She called the wrong lady to come and clean up. And now we're probably, at the rate that they're helping us, it's probably going to be the end of next week before you even get to move in. Meanwhile, we're still paying to be here. This is why I was so mad, is because they take their sweet time with everything. They obviously didn't care about her situation. I was just done. So I was like, I'm not emailing, I'm not calling anymore. I'm showing up and you're gonna talk to me face to face. We get in the car, we drive there, we show up to the office. Now we sit down in the office and Molly's still at the front desk. I was like, hey, is Karen here? She's like, yeah, she's in the back, let me go get her. So she goes and she comes back and she's like, she's working on something, she'll be up in a couple minutes. And I was like, okay, cool. We're sitting out in the lobby area and Molly goes, are you having another girl? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, good luck. And I was like, what? I was like, why? Do you have 2 girls? And she's like, oh no, I have 1 girl and then a boy and then I'm pregnant with another boy. And I was like, good for you. Like, okay. Like, they had obviously all been talking to each other and they all knew about her situation and they were all annoyed with us. So she was just being rude. She goes, I just have a 10-year-old daughter and she's the devil. And I was like, this is the same lady who they told us lives with mice in her house, how she's pregnant with 2 kids and they have mice in her house. I'm like, Molly, your daughter's probably acting like the devil because she needs to go to the hospital because she's been eating mouse poop around the house. Like, Molly, don't come at me. I will come at you right now. Pregnant lady versus pregnant lady, come at me. I was like, are you kidding me? What is the point in that? Like, what's the point in saying something to like your customer or your like tenant? I don't know. I was just like, whatever. So we wait for about 15 minutes. Then like a man walks in and like walks to the back, and I was like, is that your manager? Is that him? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, can you bring him back out here so I can talk to him? She's like, oh no, he has calls to make. And I was like, well, I'm right here, and I'm also like a paying tenant under his company, so can I talk to him? And she's like, no. And I was like, Molly, like, they obviously did not want me to talk to him because they knew that they would all be fired. Karen finally comes out and she has this piece of paper in her hand, and she's like, here's the email I sent you. And I was like, when did you send us this email? Like, because we checked right before you came in here and we didn't have an email from you. She's like, oh, I just sent it. I'm like, go figure. Go figure, you just sent it. Okay. And I didn't even read it at the time, or else I would have been like fuming on this lady, but I did not read it. And I talked to her and I was like, thanks for the email. Like, it had all of our information as far as how much we needed to pay. So then I was like, I got a call from the cleaning lady that you sent to call me. I finally got in touch with her, and she says that she has no idea about the extent of our situation and what she needs to do and what she's obligated to do. And she's like, oh yeah, she does. And I was like, really? Because I recorded the conversation and she does not know anything about our situation and how many mice there were and where the poop is and all of this stuff. She's like, I told her everything. And I was like, okay, like, okay, but this isn't the lady. She says that she doesn't feel comfortable doing it, and this isn't her. So you're gonna have to find somebody else. And I'm doing you a favor because I did all the research myself. I gave her all the information, and I was like, they're gonna call me today to come out and inspect. Do you want me to do that and send you the bill? Because I'll do that. And she's like, no, I have to talk to them. I have to do it through me. I'm like, okay, like, great, I know, but you take forever to do everything. So I was like, well, they can come out today because I talked to them and they're able to come out today. Sorry if the camera angle changed, I had to like delete footage. But anyways, I told her that they could come out that day and that I wanted them to come out that day. So she's like, okay, well, I will get in contact with you today and tell you what they can do. And I'm like, you won't. I told her that I feel a lot of hostility from her and that she's not working quickly for us and that she doesn't really want to talk to us. She doesn't answer her phone calls, like anything. And she just kind of looked at me and she was like, there's no point in like talking to her about it because I don't know. We ended up leaving, and then Ben and I read the email together in the car, and the email basically said that they're not compensating us at all for any of our rent because they've done everything that they can. Like they said a couple weeks ago that they were sending somebody out to clean, gave us her number in the email, but we had already figured that out. And then that if any more communication about this whole situation needed to be done, like they were basically done talking about it, and that we needed to talk to our attorney, needed to talk to their attorney is what it said. And I was like, oh, so we've gone there. Okay, so we're there. At this point, I'm like fuming. I'm so mad. I talked to my mom in the car, and we were pretty much prepared to break our lease at this point. I kind of went up and down all day long about 17 times about how I felt about it. I was like crying in the car. My mom's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do. This is going to take forever for just to get somebody out here to like clean the freaking house. This was Friday, so like I said, the exterminator was coming out that day. I dropped Ben off at the house and he inspected the place and he needed to talk to the exterminator, blah, blah, blah. I'd take Ella back to my mom's house to just so that she's safe and she's not playing around our house. So then I get a call from Priscilla because I never called her back, and she was like, hey, like, what's the deal? And I told her, I was like, I'm not mad at you or anything, but our management company says that you called us multiple times. They said that you fully knew about the situation, blah, blah, blah. So then this lady's like, oh my gosh, like, no. So long story short, she told us that she will not be working for our management company again, and she forwarded me all of the emails between Karen and her. And in the emails, Karen states that there were a few mice in the house. They need everything scrubbed down head to toe. And she's like, mice, gross, I don't like mice. I need to come in and see like how bad it is before I give you a quote. Our management company was like, There's no need for a quote, just go in and do it. It was not an infestation by any means, which I'm pretty sure like over 4 or 5 or 6 mice is like an infestation. We had like 12. So it was definitely an infestation of mice. And she said they want somebody specific to come out and do it, but we're not doing that. That's what it says in the email. We're not doing that. It is not hazardous by any means. And I have all of that in my possession, all of those emails. So Karen, if you're watching this video, watch out. I have literally everything on you. She ended up saying that she will never be working for this company again because she doesn't want to work for somebody who like twists her words. At this point, I was like, yep, we're breaking our lease. I'm not going back in that house, blah, blah, blah. Ben's over here. He had to leave for work, so he calls me and my mom over to here and kind of gives us a lowdown of where everything is and what he was going to say to the exterminator and all of the holes that needed to be closed and blah, blah, blah. So then this is where the exterminator comes in. And I was literally on the phone with an attorney waiting for the exterminator to come. This is how done I was, you guys. Like literally at this point I was going to sue them and call it quits. So my mom and I decided that depending on what the exterminator says about the situation and about like how well he knows all of this stuff and what he can make us feel, like if this is normal or if it's not normal, or if, I don't know, all this stuff. We were going to ask him a ton of questions, and depending on how he made us feel, that would determine whether we stay or not. So obviously we're here, so obviously he made us feel better. But he comes in, and this poor guy, he was pestered with questions from me and my mom, like 2 clueless women, just like asking him questions and questions and questions. He was probably here for like an hour and a half doing his job and answering questions. What? Okay, this story's gonna have to go on hold because our couches are being delivered right now. Okay, so I have Ella in here now, and Ben's wetting his hair because he hasn't showered today. And these people are gonna be here in like 10 minutes apparently. Ella, come here, can you come say hi? No. No. Come here. Come here. Look, say hi. No. Okay. The exterminator patched up everything. Like, I am absolutely not concerned. He literally spent an hour patching up every single hole and spraying like foam into so many different holes, and like copper wire here and spray foam there and copper wire, and like he just went ham on the place. Questions that he answered, which are like the main questions, which was, do these mice carry diseases? Is it okay for me to be around them? And toddlers, like, is it safe? And he said that in Colorado Springs, the mice that we have here are not known to have any diseases. The only diseases that he knows of are of mice in Aurora, which is like 2 hours away, and they have the Lahunta virus or something. I haven't looked it up, but that's it. He said, I'm around mice all day long. Like, I have never gotten sick in however long that I've worked here from the mice. You should be cautious, but it's not like it's gonna kill you. Like, you'll be fine. So we were like, okay, well, that's good to know. And then we asked him about cleanup. Like, what does that look like? He's like, just get bleach and water and like mix it together depending on what you're cleaning. Do the floors, and he just kind of told us what to use to clean it up. This guy was like so chill, like way too chill about mice, but he's probably around them all day every day. He said that he is like 99.9% sure that they are gone. There was no activity in any of the mouse like poison traps except for only one of them, and he said it wasn't even that much. He said if there was more activity in the poison traps, then he would not think that they were gone, but it was like barely nibbled at. So he was like, no, they're definitely not here anymore. Like I said, he patched everything up downstairs in our cabinets. He shoved poison up in our cabinets, like in the void space, not like in our cabinets with our pots and pans. He went outside to the garage. He went out further, like out to like the sides of our house. He literally got on his hands and knees and felt all the way around the bottom of our garage and sprayed foam in any places that he felt holes. He came upstairs, sprayed stuff in baby's closet. Like, this isn't like hazardous stuff, it's just like spray foam that goes and like expands when it dries. He left. My mom and I felt so much better about everything. Like, he made us feel really, really good about that they weren't here anymore. We got to talking, and we decided that to ensure that we were like comfortable with knowing what was clean and what was not, instead of sending somebody out here to clean, we were just going to do it ourselves. And I didn't do a lot of the cleaning, but I was here for a lot of the cleaning. My mom and Ben did most of the cleaning. When I tell you that every inch of this carpet has been cleaned, we rented like a carpet cleaner and cleaned every piece of carpet downstairs and upstairs, even like in the closets and everything. We cleaned every single dish and wiped inside every single cabinet and the outside of the cabinets in the pantry. All of the floors were mopped with like a bleach water mixture. All of Ella's toys were wiped down. All of the baseboards were wiped down. We're doing like 100 loads of laundry, so there's laundry everywhere. And like everything's clean. And I feel so secure that everything is clean because we did it. We didn't have somebody else do it and then wonder what actually got cleaned and what didn't. Oh, like all of our countertops are clean. Inside of the oven's clean. Underneath the oven's clean. They pulled out the oven, the washer and dryer, the refrigerator, everything, and mopped behind it. Literally everything. So it took like 2 days to clean. We've stayed here for 2 nights now. Right here is our new dresser that Ben and Angela put together last night. So it looks super good. Like 4 or 5 hours.
It took us like 5 hours. And we didn't even finish. I had to finish this morning.
Baby A's crib is put together. Our couches are being delivered right now. Our table and chairs are already put together downstairs. Like all of our big furniture is here and all we have to do basically is decorate. All the mice are gone. Everything is clean. Huh?
Did you tell them about Daisy?
Oh yeah, and then my mom brought our dog over so that she could, because she's a terrier and she's bred to smell and kill rodents, and so she came over here. She smelled everywhere where they were. Did she just fart? Ew. Are you pooping? You poopy?
Yeah, poopy. Well, right now, so I can help.
But she never stayed in a spot. If she like stays in a spot and like looks, then there's like something there. But she just sniffed around everything. So it's for sure that there are no more mice here, or else my dog would have gone crazy last night, and she didn't. So that's how we know for sure. Don't worry guys, they're 100% gone. We brought my dog here to smell everything. Basically what we've been doing is building furniture and decoration putting together. And hi. Hi. Oh, they're here. They're here. We're getting our new couches right now. This is the end of the saga of the mouse drama. This is it. We are not emailing them again. I typed up a really nasty email to send them about like not sending out somebody to clean, but I'm just curious. When will they email me about getting somebody out here to clean? When will that happen? So we're not even going to say anything. We're not going to tell them that we did it ourselves. We're just going to kindly deny a cleaning service and let them be curious as to like what we did and if the house that they're renting out is clean. And
Mama.
Yes.
Mama.
Ella.
Mama.
Ella. Poopy. Do you need to go poopy? Okay, my child is pooping. Oh. Yeah, poopy. Ow, that's so funny. So for all of you people wondering if we should sue them, if we should press charges, there's not a lot that we can do. Property managers just suck, and we've kind of learned that throughout this process. Our next house will definitely be something that we own and something that we buy, and we're not going through this again because we did have a lot of problems with our apartment and dealing with them a few times, so just having your own stuff would be nice. So that's just what we've learned. Property managers suck. They don't really care about you. They just want their money, and there's nothing that we can really do. So that's how we're ending this story. I'm sorry for all of you guys who wanted something more for us. I've kind of learned to move on from this because if I get really hung up on the fact that we've spent so much money away from here, then I'll cry. So I just don't really think about it. We're moving on towards the future. We're going to have a baby in like a month and a half. We need to decorate this place and just enjoy the holidays and enjoy family and enjoy Ella and enjoy all being together. So that is how this is ending. So I'm actually going to start a new vlog now, and we are going to be vlogging a happy vlog of us unpacking and decorating, and Elle's knocking at the door. So yeah, it's all uphill from here. I'm about to start baby A's nursery. I have everything that I need for it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tea sesh, and we will see you tomorrow in our next vlog. Bye guys.